The WWE have announced who will be in the Elimination Chamber match 2022, which you know what that means. It's fantasy booking time here on SCW. Look at the lineup we get to work with in this match. We've got the champion, Bobby Lashley. We've got the Royal Rumble winner who will be going on to take on Roman Reigns at WrestleMania in Brock Lesnar. We've got Riddle, one half of RK Bro, and who PW Insider reported was a potential that could have been a Royal Rumble winner. We've got the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. We've got the prospect that is Austin Theory, and of course we have got Seth frickin' Rollins. What a lineup we have got there. And I'm going to tell you what there, before we get started with the fantasy booking, welcome to SCW. Please like the video, share the video with a friend, subscribe as well, hit the bell, turn notifications on, each and every time a video is released on the channel, as we are on the road to WrestleMania. Going to be plenty of videos on this channel as we go towards WrestleMania 38. And of course, to do that, we need to go through the Elimination Chamber. So to explain how this video is going to go, we're going to look at individual scenarios first by taking each superstar in the match, and then we're going to see their potential directions heading into WrestleMania. We're then going to take it and try and put it all together into one match to see who will walk away as WWE Champion, which is a difficult job, but you and I, we're going to do that today. So first off, let's look at none other than the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. That's right, the Royal Rumble winner, of course, this year. He already said he was going to go on to challenge Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 38, but of course then said he wanted his rematch to go in the Elimination Chamber after Adam Pearce said that Bobby Lashley would be defending the championship in that structure. So everything here makes perfect sense. It gives Brock Lesnar the opportunity for that title unification match, something that was rumoured at the start of the year, but of course now Brock has, he's dropped that championship. It seems like it's a less likely possibility, but would WWE change their plans again? Maybe they've sort of said, hey, we need to have a title unification match at WrestleMania, and Brock Lesnar could be winning that title back. So we have every opportunity that this could happen, and plus we get to see Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar mix it up in the ring one more time, and hopefully this time we won't see some shenanigans which cost either man the match. So we might actually get a clean finish with these two in the match. Next, let's look at Bobby Lashley, and like I said there already, he's got the opportunity to prove that his victory over Brock Lesnar wasn't a fluke at the Rumble. He also has the opportunity to win in the Elimination Chamber, just like he did, by the way, in ECW's December to Dismember in 2006. Of course, he was a challenger at that point, walking away with the title, so he's done it before. Could he do it again? It would show a good experience, obviously going back all those years, but also he can eliminate all the contenders that he's got going for his championship right now. We can actually say, well, who's left for me to face at WrestleMania, which can either bring in, I don't know, maybe an outsider, or maybe someone else on the roster, maybe someone like a Finn Balor or an Edge, maybe a Randy Orton. There's certainly different variables that can go there. There's a lot to gain from this match from Bobby Lashley, but then we're looking for that dominant champion once again. We turn our attention to Riddle next now, because Riddle's a very interesting one actually to look about, because PW Insider reported that Riddle actually was a potential name that was going to win the Royal Rumble. It was a name that was in discussion, but of course WrestleVotes went on to then say also that a few people backstage have discussed the idea of RK Bro splitting up, but not everyone is in favour of that idea right now. But they did say that if that was to happen, and it was to happen at WrestleMania, it's a match that should take place for the WWE Championship. Now, of course, we know plans, if they were true, on what PW Insider said, and of course reporter Tom Colley, who said it was a name just came up, but it wasn't actually a legitimate suggestion. We look at it and say, well, if Riddle was going to win that Royal Rumble and didn't, and Brock did, this would be an opportunity for Riddle to walk away as champion, especially the idea if we were to get an RK Bro breakup. This plays nicely into storytelling here, because Riddle got this opportunity just, doing this sort of Alpha Academy sort of challenge thing that's been going, with the scooter challenge this week, and then his match with Otis in ring was just announced by Adam Pearce. This automatic now, it's a qualifying match. Riddle had no say in what was going on, but Riddle now was going to want that match. He now has a focus on the WWE Championship, which of course means he doesn't have full focus on the Raw Tag Team Championship, which of course will annoy Randy Orton, because Randy Orton now can say, well, hang on, your attention hasn't been on this team for a while, and the times you've gone on and done your own stuff for yourself, you've not focused on what we're doing. That plays perfectly into the narrative of the storyline, and also it can play perfectly if Riddle was to be the surprise victor and walk out like, I don't know, Eddie Guerrero did back in No Way Out 2004 with the WWE Championship when he wasn't expected to. Riddle could have that sort of moment here at the Elimination Chamber, and then of course he could go on to have a match with Randy Orton at WrestleMania 38. There is time to tie everything and make everything go together. Austin Theory is an interesting one as well there, because I mean, Austin Theory of course has been Vince McMahon's pet project, hasn't he, at this point of the game, but he's been getting lengthy matches with, you know, some of the top superstars on Raw. He won a qualifying match to get in the spot here, beating Kevin Owens, which I thought was a nice little spot of the way this was done, and we'll be talking more about Kevin Owens shortly in this video. But Austin Theory, of course, being the pet project there has been rumours going around, could we get Shane McMahon involved in some way, of course, because them two could have a match at WrestleMania. It would make sense in storyline terms to do that if they wanted to. Shane McMahon did return at the Royal Rumble and is expected to go through the Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania this year, so expecting to have a match. Who will it be? It's not 100% confirmed at this point, but I think Austin Theory would be a natural shout. You could even suggest the idea of having Shane McMahon as the official in this match, because of the fact that, well, Shane has worn the stripes before. You have to remember back in SummerSlam, I believe it was 2017, with AJ Styles and Kevin Owens during their United States title rivalry, but also the idea that perhaps a referee to contain all these people in the ring at the same time. No normal official probably is strong enough or capable enough of keeping order in this, so Shane McMahon could be someone that could be involved in there. And of course, Austin Theory, we're looking for the first time in someone that I don't believe would be a contender to win the match, so you could have that idea that if Shane was the official, to cost Austin Theory in some way this match, and then that way Shane has kind of built up his WrestleMania match. We haven't got to see Shane and actually wrestle at Elimination Chamber, which I'm sure is not to everybody's cup of tea, but for storytelling, this could work pretty well. Looking then at Seth Rollins, as I mentioned, I'll talk about Kevin Owens as well with this. Kevin Owens, of course, said this past week, once Seth had said he was going to be in the match without having to qualify, that Seth should have said, well, I'm going to walk from this match unless you can get me in without qualifying. Now, Seth didn't do that, and we've seen KO at this point say he would do the same thing for Seth. We have seen maybe slight evidence, even though KO has been seen as a liar, he has shown faith and actual loyalty to Seth Rollins. But you look back at that day one Fatal 5-Way, there were points where KO could have broken up a pin for Seth Rollins to become the champion, and KO didn't do it. He would have let Seth win the championship had there not been a kick out. So this is interesting where this narrative works, because we all know Kevin Owens doesn't go to these shows in Saudi Arabia. So if Kevin Owens is not going to be there, this is perfect to make things work on a storyline terms on the build up to Raw, because KO can say, look, I'm not in the match, all right, you didn't get me in, fair enough, I'm not in it, but you know what, I'm behind you 100%, and I'm going to show my complete loyalty to you, Seth. In fact, I'm going to be there at the Elimination Chamber, and if you need me to watch your back at any time with anyone in there, I promise I have got you. I've got your back. Because what you can do then is, Kevin Owens doesn't show up. Seth Rollins is then left to do the job on his own. He's expecting the help, and if he doesn't walk away as WWE Champion, you are building up for Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania 38. Now, the last one, arguably probably the most least interesting one here, is AJ Styles. And look, he's my favourite wrestler that's in wrestling right now. But, I mean, for this, really, AJ Styles fits the journeyman in this match. It doesn't really sort of fit to me to be someone who can walk away as champion, although I'd love to see it. I just don't think with current storytelling that would be the case. But if you put AJ in a good position in this match, he certainly can have a very good showing, like he did in the Royal Rumble, up until being eliminated by Madcap Moss, but we'll forget about that small detail. And hopefully we can build on from that point, AJ having maybe a dream match against Edge or someone like that at WrestleMania. We can still build something strong for AJ Styles. So that's a lot of ideas that you can put into place there. Let's put it into a match then, shall we, and see where we can go with it. So for me, we've got the pots filled up and we've got two people starting in the match. I will start with Riddle versus AJ Styles. And one little note as well that I said earlier on as a potential idea in the video, I will have Shane McMahon as the special guest referee. So those will be the first two, Riddle and AJ Styles, because I think they're the best journeyman in this match. I think it's the most exciting way you can start this match. I'd even have Riddle come out on the camel again, because let's be fair, it went down well with the crowd. I think even everyone watching at home enjoyed that moment. I think it gives you that sense of like, I wouldn't mind seeing him win it. So you have that feeling there to get in behind Riddle at this early stage, and we understand that AJ Styles starting this chamber match can be someone that's in there for a long time and also can put other people over in the process. Your second person coming into the chamber is Austin Theory. Now for me, one bit of fun storyline narrative you could do before this match even begins, knowing that Shane McMahon is going to be the special guest referee, we can have sort of like something backstage with Shane McMahon and Austin Theory saying, look, Vince McMahon, he's got a lot of faith in you. He believes that you can be a big time deal in WWE. In this match, this is a chance you could really prove yourself. You go on to the main event of WrestleMania, you could be the headline act here. Don't let him down, and if you're going to let him down, you're going to let me down. I want to see you succeed. It's for you to make sure that you can do a job out there and win the WWE Championship. One thing I want to do in this match, I want to keep all 6 competitors strong. So even though we can have some big death-defying spots or double teams or brutal spots where they go through pods and stuff like that, for myself personally, I don't want to eliminate anyone really early at this point. So it's more just announcing what order they're all coming into the match. So number 4 for me would be Seth freaking Rollins. I think he'd be a good position at this point. What I'd like to see though through the match, or actually playing through the night, is the idea of Seth Rollins being a bit uncertain of like, have you guys seen KO maybe backstage? Where's Kevin Owens been at? I've not seen him anywhere. He was supposed to be here. He's supposed to be watching my back. And we could just see sort of Seth in the pod at certain points, just looking around going, is he out there somewhere? Is he going to come out here? And we can see Seth there kind of feeling like, well, I'm going to have to go and do this on my own. But the feeling of let down is what I want from Seth Rollins going into this chamber. Something that just keeps him just that little bit distracted and also keeps him that little bit protected if he does suffer defeat. Now, of course, 5th into the match, I think it would be sensible to have Bobby Lashley to come in, the WWE Champion, because, well, Lashley can come in, can be on a tear, and he can actually perhaps get our first elimination of the match. Maybe someone like AJ Styles could go out at this point losing to Bobby Lashley, perhaps with a strong spear or something like that, and AJ Styles can go towards the back, and we get our last competitor in, which then would be Brock Lesnar. And once Brock comes in, it's going to be absolute carnage from there. I want to see the 2 beasts going at it once again, head to head. I want to see one-upsmanships as well, throwing superstars around the ring as well. We've got 3 other superstars in there, Seth, Riddle, Theory, that can all take beatings from Brock and Lashley to the point where they feel, rather than pinning other people, they're sort of the ones left standing at that point, sort of go head to head in a clash in the ring. And what I want is, I want the feeling that that title unification match could be on. So I want a big shocking moment to happen. So I want a clean decision that Brock Lesnar actually pins Bobby Lashley. Also the idea not only just that title unification is on, you're guaranteed of having a brand new WWE champion. I don't know why, but I have the feeling with this Elimination Chamber match being made, I've got the feeling Bobby Lashley is not going to be walking into WrestleMania as the champion. So I don't know what it leads to Lashley going forward from there, but obviously we have 4 other superstars where we've definitely got clear storyline directions of where it's going to lead to. Next thing going on at this point, I want to see something where it's subtly made, where we can get rid of Austin Theory out of this match. So what we're going to do is, Austin Theory is going to be standing sort of in a way, and Shane McMahon's going to just kind of come near him after not really doing anything, playing it fair the whole way through. Just give sort of a little nudge of some sorts, just to kind of take Austin Theory off of balance. He can go flying towards an F5 and he can be eliminated from the match. And from this point onwards, when Shane McMahon has done the job that he wants to, he can sort of like be happy that he's got him out of this match, and Shane McMahon can make his way towards the back. Now obviously the structure has to open at this point, so we need to also get a new official in the ring if Shane McMahon is not going to be around anymore. And at this point, this is the opportunity that Roman Reigns can take to go in and cost Brock Lesnar this match. Now some would say, well, hang on, surely Roman would want to win both belts. I just think for this point, it's the satisfaction for Roman. He doesn't want to see Brock Lesnar as a champion in WWE. He wants to see himself as the superior at this point. He wants to prove that, you know, Brock can't do this without Paul Heyman. There was a situation for a few weeks where Roman Reigns was without Paul Heyman, and it's quite arguably said that that rivalry with Seth Rollins, every step of the way, Seth was able to get in Roman's head without Paul Heyman there. So there is that argument here that Roman just doesn't want to see Brock succeed. So at that point, we can see that Roman can come in, attack, you know, Brock Lesnar, whether it's a spear through a pod, something like this that can take the beast out of this match, and maybe we get a pinfall from Seth Rollins of all people, because Roman at this point may feel that, hey, I could have got something against Seth Rollins, but with the chair attacks that he did at the Rumble, and these two seemingly going their separate ways, I think Roman at this point knows that Seth is not a threat to his run going into WrestleMania. So he's quite happy to see Seth pick up that pinfall. So that leaves us then down to the final two then, which of course is Riddle and Seth Rollins. And of course this comes to the point where, you know, Seth Rollins, he's trying to put Riddle away with all of his best moves. Riddle is finding a way to kick out at every turn. We find then the insecurities popping in once again with Seth Rollins looking around, hoping that he's going to get that extra bit of backup. He's seen already that, you know, people have been able to get into the cell like Roman Reigns. It's almost like a where are you factor. And of course, Riddle manages to overcome the odds, hit like a broman or a floating bro, and manages to shock the world and actually wins the WWE Championship, pinning Seth Rollins in the cell to finish off the match, which I think, for me, this perfectly would set up the narratives for Seth Rollins and KO. Where were you? You were meant to be my friend. You said you would be there. You lied. And at that point, we can perhaps see maybe Kevin Owens, for example, say, look, you know, we're on the same page. Let's go for the tag titles or something. I'm sorry I wasn't there. Something came up. I couldn't make the flight. And then we could see like a beatdown or something like that on Seth Rollins during that match for the tag titles. Can build their program up to WrestleMania. And on Riddle's side, well, Riddle already has failed trying to win the tag team titles from the Alpha Academy with Randy Orton. They did all these sort of academic challenges, but Riddle's focus has also been on this chamber. He's won the WWE Championship. They didn't win the tag team titles. So for Randy Orton, this is enough to say you've not been on the focus. This tag team doesn't do anything for me anymore. If I can't be a tag team champion, I might as well become the WWE champion. We can see a beatdown on Raw, perhaps a punt kick or something like that that can set that program into motion for the WWE Championship going into WrestleMania. So that's my ideas there for you for a fantasy booking net for the men's Elimination Chamber match. Let me know how you would book it in the comments below. If you do like this video, then please hit that thumb up. It really does help spread the word of SCW, as well as dropping a comment as well in the comment section. I look forward to interacting with you. Make sure to hit the bell as well on the notifications. Set it to all, you know, each and every time a video is released. Lots of videos will be heading towards the Elimination Chamber, as well as SCW Rewind is coming back with a retro review of Elimination Chamber 2018. I'll be joined by Wrestling by Wardridge, so make sure to check out that video on the channel. And as well as that, plenty more videos will be on the way also. But that's all from me. Thank you for watching. Have yourselves a good one. You've been watching SCW here on YouTube. Take care. Have yourselves a great day.